Like many tourists, Linda and I came to the Turks and Caicos Islands in the British West Indies to enjoy its beautiful beaches, tranquil turquoise waters, and soothing tropical climate. But we discovered something else. The island has a homeless dog problem. They're called Potcake Dogs. And just a short walk from Grace Bay on the island of Providenciales, there's an organization called Potcake Place. It's run by volunteers, and their mission is to reduce the number of potcakes on the island.
This is a wonderful country that has really grown very quickly in a short space of time, and a lot of the infrastructure hadn't kept up. Things to do with education, animal control, that sort of thing. And so there was always dogs here in the islands, and there was never any mass spay neuter, that sort of thing, any regulations. These dogs were not owned by people, and so obviously living out on the streets, they populated. They are a mixed breed dog, but people are recognizing them now as a breed into their own. They're a wonderful breed of dogs called potcakes. It's the name given to them by what the locals used to feed them. So it was named after what they fed the dogs. So it's a cooking pot that people used to add peas and rice and that sort of thing to over a stove with a flame. And the residue that got burnt onto the bottom of the cooking pot was scraped off and kind of formed into a crab cake type shape of patty and thrown to the dog. So it's the cake of the pots, pot cake. And we opened the adoption centre here. Obviously the homeless dog situation on the island is an issue for everyone. Tourists see it all the time when they come down here. Obviously the number one industry here is tourism, and a lot of the tourists come down from the States and Canada, and they're not used to seeing this because obviously in the States and Canada there are animal control legislations and that sort of thing, that so people don't really see the packs of dogs that you see when you come to the Caribbean islands. So a lot of the tourists come in and are obviously concerned about what they can do. So we've said, well, it's a community issue and we would like to get your involvement to help. So the tourists come in. We have a plan here where we allow these pups, when they're up for adoption, to be taken out for socialization visits with the tourists. This really helps the dogs. When they come into our care, we keep them very close into our foster homes. We don't let them out for medical reasons. And once they've had their second set of vaccinations, we start bringing them through the adoption centre here, and tourists interact with them. People that are living here interact with them, take them out for little beach walks, and start getting them used to people and that people are kind and good. And this really helps the dogs socialise them.
I'm taking the Potcake Dogs out because it's a great opportunity to get to see if it's a dog that you'd like to adopt, and it also exposes a lot of people on the island that are here on vacation to know that there's an adoption program. There are a lot of feral dogs on the island, and their Potcake Place is doing a really amazing job of rescuing all these pups as early on as they can, and then giving the tourists the opportunity to come and walk them and adopt them, and by walking and adopting them, even if you don't actually adopt it, inspiring someone else to do so is a really great program. So we've been here 3 days in a row, and it has been by far the highlight of the trip for me. It's getting to play with the dogs.
And we always need people that will volunteer to carry a pup on their return home to New York or Texas or wherever they're going. And Potcake Place pays the fee for the pup to travel on the plane. and the person travels with the puppy on the plane, and the new owner meets them when they come off at their destination and holds them the pup. That's how we do that. Also, tourists here, we rely on tourists. We are 100% operated by donations. So every single penny that comes through these doors goes to help the dogs. None of us get paid, and so every single penny that comes in, so tourists come in and donate to us, that goes to save these puppies that you see here. Also, tourists love to bring down things like collars and leashes and toys and blankets and things for our adoption center, and we really appreciate that. So tourism plays a huge role in what we're doing here. We're trying to stop these dogs being born, to make the islands more beautiful by nature and help the dogs, and the tourists can help us by doing that in return. So we're very grateful to them.
She's very laid back, and she's all over the place at the same time. She's very calm, and we kind of need that in our lives since we have like a nuclear attack bomb dog at home already. We were on the plane ride down, and there was an ad in the magazine on the plane. And my mom, I guess jokingly at first, was like, why don't we go check it out? And I guess we ended up just figuring out where it was and going to check it out.
So we've recently formed something called the Animal Welfare Committee. Tourists will see signs around the island. And what this is government in partnership with us. We have the Hotel Association, Zero Tolerance Committee, which is another wonderful group on the island, and the Tourist Board, coming together with Potcake Place to try and sort out this situation. So that allows us to bring in volunteers from out of the country. So we have vets and vet technicians that are coming into the country to spay and neuter as many dogs as we can put in front of them from the time they come here. So the Hotel Association helps us with finding hotel rooms. Zero Tolerance Committee helps us with fundraising. And the government allows these vets to come in without the need for a work permit because they are volunteering their time. So we put all of this together along with the businesses on the island, like restaurants, hotels, rental car companies. Grace Bay Car Rental always gives us cars for these vets to drive in, and they come down and they will spay and neuter 400 dogs in a week for us. And so that's what we're doing now. So it's a community problem, and we need the community to help us.
The day before our flight back to the U.S., Linda and I stopped at the local Turks and Caicos SPCA to pick up their latest calendar, and we made a heart-wrenching discovery. They had a Potcake dog in urgent need of medical care, but the island does not have the specialized veterinary facilities needed to save him. Because most of the dogs on the island run free, many wind up being injured or killed by cars. We were told Fluffy was apparently hit by one or possibly two cars. We were told he was suffering from 2 broken legs on his right side. Fortunately, North Shore Animal League America, the world's largest no-kill animal rescue and adoption organization, heard about Fluffy's plight and volunteered to do the surgery.
We've been working with Turks and Caicos for several years now. We are glad to take any puppies or dogs that they need to be flown here to New York to find a home. North Shore Animal League America is, we do a lot of local rescuing, but we also like to reach out to our partner shelters both here in the States and internationally. When I heard about Fluffy and how he'd been injured and hit by a car and just laying there in pain and waiting for some help, I knew that we had to intervene.
As luck would have it, Linda and I were heading back to the U.S. the very next day, so we volunteered to take Fluffy with us.
We wouldn't be able to do this program at all if it wasn't for wonderful tourists who have come into our office or call us, and they volunteer to travel with the animals because we cannot send any of these animals unaccompanied. So they need a passenger attached to them. So we are totally dependent on the wonderful tourists who visit here, who volunteer their time to go back with these animals for us. What's happened today is we've got an older dog going off to the North Shore Animal League. The reason he's going is he had a serious road accident here, and we're very limited on the veterinary care that we can provide for animals on the island. So we have a wonderful relationship with the North Shore Animal League, and this is our second older dog who's been helped with surgery that cannot be performed here on the island.
In addition to Fluffy, we also volunteered to transport 3 Potcake puppies.
The puppies, we are trying to spay and neuter in this country as much as we can, but we still have a surplus of puppies. And again, the North Shore Animal League has helped us. They do take our puppies, and I've got wonderful volunteers like Pauline who foster them. These puppies were rescued about a week, 10 days ago, and they are accepted into the North Shore Animal League adoption program.
With the 3 Potcake puppies stored safely under our seats and Fluffy in his crate in the belly of the plane, Linda and I began our 1,600-mile journey home. That would include a stopover in Miami, a jaunt through customs, and final destination Bradley International Airport in Connecticut, then a short drive to our home in Massachusetts for an overnight stay. The Potcake puppies were no problem at all. They slept most of the trip, and we're very happy to help them on their way to their new home. We gave the puppies a chance to do a little exploring in our backyard before they were joined by Fluffy for their 3-hour drive to North Shore Animal Rescue League in Long Island, New York.
Right now our doctors are examining Fluffy, and we're hoping that we could do something to help save at least one of his legs, because right now he has a dislocated elbow as well as a broken leg. So he's a little trooper. He's in his cage right now. He's sitting up, and he's waiting for the doctors to examine him right now. So hopefully we get a wonderful ending to this story, and sweet little Fluffy can be healed and in a new home soon. We adopt out a lot of puppies here at North Shore Animal League America. Every week we have puppies coming in from down south, as well as the islands like Turks and Caicos. And we have a lot of adoptions here, so we're anticipating that these sweet little puppies will probably be in a home before Christmas.
Thanks to North Shore Animal League and all the volunteers that helped out along the way, all 3 Potcake puppies have found their forever homes. As for Fluffy, he's now called Potsy, and he's in foster care, recovering from his first operation to fix his right front leg. The vets at North Shore Animal League are hoping to save his right hind leg, which suffered a shattered femur. Potsy faces several more operations, but vets are optimistic he will walk again.